Wasteland Journal of Beaumont Sinclair. Day 10 to Day 12. Date unknown. We spent a few days in Marn, recovering and enjoying our newfound status as heroes of this town within the blasted wastes. When most of the town had recovered, Pete agreed to take us out to the Kraken's Canyon, where he said the gate leading back to Brimstone could be found. As we travelled across the sandy dunes, an iron lightning storm picked up. Lightning arced down from the sky as ripples of intense heat rose from the burning dunes. Pete warned us that the tech we had accumulated whilst in the blasted wastes would attract electrical discharges from the storm, and so Torinobu and I had to ditch most of our tech to avoid being electrocuted by the horrific iron lightning. As the three of us sheltered from the storm, we saw, in the distance, a great rusted wagon, with no horses, seeming to move under its own power, travelling across the dusty sands. Pete told us this vehicle was called a Geldonian crawler, and it came towards us, churning sand with its massive wheels. The gigantic rust crawler of the Geldonian enclave belched black fumes from its exhaust ports. Sifting through the desert sands, it trundled slowly along, mining for spices and life water buried beneath the surface to sell to the highest bidder at the market ports of Kantara Reach. At least, that's what Pete told us it was doing. The vehicle stopped, and some aliens dismounted. They seemed to recognize Pete, and he spoke with them, to our surprise, in their own language. It was quite a strange sight to behold. Fortunately for Torinobu and I, the small machine we acquired translated the dialogue for us, and we were able to tell that Pete was bargaining with them to allow us to ride in their wagon and make it safely through the iron storm. It became clear Pete was friends with these folk, and in the end, although it was a little bit out of their way, they agreed to allow us to ride in their crawler all the way to the Kraken's Canyon. It was a strange and noisy experience riding inside the rusty crawler. When we arrived at the canyons, Pete thanked them profusely, and as a token of our thanks, Torinobu and I each handed over much of the scrap we had collected whilst in the blasted wastes. The Geldonians were very grateful for this, and even Pete was surprised by how much of the stuff we had managed to get our hands on. Of course, we did find most of it on that warlord that came scavenging around the remains of the Vostros, but I thought it was best not to mention that. We planned to make camp for the night, and then in the morning we will head into the canyons and hopefully find this gate that will take us back home.
Well, here we are, fellas. You ready to go home?
I've never been more ready for anything in my life, Pete. Come on, let's go. After their long journey through the deserts of the blasted wastes, Pete finally leads Torinobu and Beaumont to the Kraken's Gulch.
Well, here it is, fellas. The gateway's just through here, if I can remember whereabouts it were.
We're no strangers to looking for things, Petey. We'll find it together. Come on, let's go. But before they can move deeper into the gulch, they hear a clicking, chittering sound from the gigantic sand dunes that flank them, and suddenly, from up above, leaps one of the armoured crustacean sand crabs, landing amidst the men, and ambushing them with its vicious pincers. Beaumont's quick wits serve him well though, and he is able to jump back and draw his shotgun before the creature can strike him. He takes aim and opens fire. But the buckshot bounces harmlessly off the sand crab's armour plating, and then Torinobu steps forwards, unsheathing his katana and unleashing a vicious slice upon his foe. The razor edge of the blade draws blood, and the creature howls in pain, but it remains standing and swinging with its heavy pincers. It turns towards Torinobu
and thrashes at him with its great pincer, smacking him hard in the chest and sending him tumbling to the ground, gasping for air. "Don't worry, fellas, I'll help you," shouts Petey, charging with his pickaxe raised high above his head. The heavy spike of the pick punches straight through the armor plating of the sand crab, and the point plunges deep through its skull directly into its brain. The sand crab wavers for a moment and then topples, crashing into the sand with a mighty thud. "Gosh darn sand crabs, always trying to ambush everyone around these parts."
"Arigato, Pity-san. You saved me from a most unpleasant fate."
"It weren't nothing, fella, not after everything you've done for me and the people of Marn."
"Still, you have my deepest thanks,"
Torinobu says and bows to Pete. "Come on, I think it's time we got moving," says Beaumont and leads the way deeper into Kraken's Gulch. A short way down the path, he finds himself coming across an underground lift set into the buried cargo hold of some long since rusted starship. The corroded hulk of a massive ship rests here. Beaumont can see just inside that an old automated lift has survived the crash. Perhaps it leads down into a cargo hold underneath the surface. He tries with all his cunning to get the lift working, but it is of no use. The ship is long dead, and any machinery inside it has rusted and decayed into a useless husk. Then suddenly, without warning, a furious electrical ion storm whips up, blowing sand flurries in all directions and arcing purple lightning down from the sky. "Good God, what's that?" "It's an ion storm, fellas. Quick, get inside what's left of that ship. That'll protect us from the worst of it," Pete says. Amidst the ion storm up ahead, they see what looks like an escape pod jettisoned from some crashing ship. Smoke still rises from the wreck, and a faint set of tracks leads off into the sandy dunes. Bloody hell, if a survivor is out there, we have to find them. This storm will tear them to shreds. If we go into that storm, it's just as likely to tear us to shreds, fellas, and we don't even know how old those tracks are. Maybe if the weather was better, but we can't go looking for them. It's too dangerous. Well, I suppose you're right, Pete. You do know this place better than us. We can at least take a look in this escape pod, though, Beaumont says, walking over to the crashed pod and rummaging through its innards. But for once, fortune does not favour Beaumont, and a mechanical voice blares out weakly through a speaker.
"Warning, warning, intruder detected. Self-destruct sequence has been activated."
Oh bugger. The pod explodes as Petey, Torinobu and Beaumont flee from it. The blast wave knocks them all off their feet, but luckily the injuries are not too serious.
"Enough. We must keep moving, Beaumont-san. Come on, let us go,"
Torinobu says, and then heads off through the corroded hulk of the starship in search of the Void Gate. Swampy joins him, heading in the same direction as the samurai, and Torinobu finds himself emerging into a valley of death. The valley is filled with crudely constructed signs and totems adorned with broken helmets, bones, and jagged metal. He can't read the signs, but the message is clear.
"It looks very dangerous to continue this way, Pete,"
says Torinobu. "We ain't got much choice, fella. There's no other way to go. Come on, we're just gonna have to press on that way. That gate can't be too far away."
"Very well. We will continue down this path."
As if the warning signs and totems were not bad enough, they come across another altar to the great Kraken. The towering altar is made of jagged scrap and bone. At its top, the bony carapace shell of a massive wasteland beast sits. Fires burn at its base, and they can hear a hideous roar echo in their minds as they stare up at the terrible monument to the great Kraken. "These monuments always pop up around here. People build them, thinking it'll keep the Kraken away, but it never does." "We haven't got time for superstition. Come on, let's just keep moving," says Beaumont, as the baking heat from the blistering suns overhead saps their strength and burns their exposed skin. Swampy and Pete join Torinobu in the Valley of Death, and Swampy moves ahead, sniffing at the sands, trying to pick up the scent of the void energies nearby. Then Beaumont joins them, entering into the valley himself. Torinobu continues slowly, cautious of all the totems, signs, and the gigantic altar. Swampy, however, shows no such fear and continues through the valley, emerging out of the far end into a sulphur basin. As the men prepare to follow along behind the dog, they feel the ground rumble softly below their feet, and they hear a high-pitched whistle moments before the sand erupts in a shooting geyser of caustic acid. The corrosive jet of acid almost hits Torinobu, but his quick samurai reflexes allow him to jump out of the way and avoid the caustic substance.
That was very corrosive.
Good job you're quick on your feet, old boy. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna want to be going that way, boys. Let me check out over here, says Pete, and heads through a different exit to the valley. The prospector finds his way into another hunk of wrecked ship. Strangely, some parts of the ship seem to have decayed and rusted amidst the elements, while others seem relatively new. Time seems to move at a different pace on this alien world. Looking at the skies overhead, Beaumont and Torinobu see swirling cloud formations whipping by with purple lightning dancing through the heavens.
This is truly a strange planet, Beaumont-san.
I know, I'll be glad to be out of here. Come on, we have to keep moving. The longer we stay here, the better chance that bloody Kraken beast has of finding us, and I'd rather not deal with that. As Pete explores the damaged ship, he finds two skeletal bodies lying slumped against opposite walls of a desert hovel made from the remains of the ship. From the looks of it, they both once lived here, together. It would also appear that one died from corrosive poison spilled from a fallen flask that burned into the rocky floor, while the other has a large blade stuck deep in its belly. They must have killed each other, a murderous betrayal for reasons lost to time. Pete decides to leave the bodies be, knowing better than to go poking his nose into situations he doesn't know anything about. Well, I suppose that leaves the last path to me, Beaumont says, and heads deeper into the valley, passing by the gruesome warning signs and totems. He finds the desert valley continues deeper into the sandy dunes. Torinobu quickly joins him, but before the two men can consider which path to take next, they hear an ear-splitting, inhuman roar rumbling from beneath the sands. They look at each other, knowing exactly what such a sound means. And I actually thought we might get away with it too, Beaumont says, exhausted.
We are not so lucky, Beaumont-san.
Swampy comes running, followed quickly by Pete, who has also heard the terrifying roar. Fellas, don't go that way. That's the sound of the sand kraken, he yells, but it is too late as the gigantic, monstrous beast bursts up into the valley floor, its thick tentacles writhing in the air, each one tipped with a gnashing jaw, and they both see its gigantic eyes staring at them, piercingly, and within those dark voids, there is a menace like they have never seen before. Gosh darn it, fellas, we're gonna have to fight this thing now. Once a sand kraken finds its prey, it don't never give up the hunt. All right, Torinobu, Pete, let's get this over with. Go for its ass, fellas. They're its weak points. but don't look into them.
This kraken is no match for my dark stone blade.
Yo! Where the bloody hell did it go? Is it dead?
Perhaps it is hiding from us.
Fellas, look out! It's digging a tunnel right beneath us! Ah, jeez! Help me! Hold on, Pete. I'll save you. Dang nabbit! That burns! Yeah, we ain't letting go, fellas.
Then I will make it let go.
Ah, jeez. Thanks, fella. I thought I was done for.
Look out, it is going underground again.
Where the bloody hell is it going to come out this time? Over there, fellas. Look!
Let go of my Tomodachi, you foul beast.
Bloody hell, Torinobu! Hurry up! It's crushing me to death! What are you doing? Come on! Don't just stand there!
Nani? これはどこですか?
Torinobu-san! Torinobu-san!
のりこ様。のりこ様。ちょっと待って、のりこ様。ああ
What are you doing, you dang fool? I told you not to look into its eye.
Where am I?
That's what happens when you stare into the void, sonny. All right, you overgrown varmint. See how you like this? Ah, bloody hell, boys. Jolly good show. I don't think he'll be bothering us anymore. We did it. I can't believe we did it, says Pete. Well, we have fought a few tough customers in our time, Pete. Tough customers? Dang nabbit! You killed the sand kraken. That thing's been terrorizing us for years. They're gonna build statues of you boys in Marn.
A good deed is its own reward. We do not need any statues.
Speak for yourself, Torinobu. I quite like the idea of a statue of me being dedicated in that place, even if it is made of rusty old iron. They'll use the good iron for that statue, I'm sure. And would you look at that, boys? Up there. Pete points deeper into the valley, and Beaumont and Torinobu follow his gaze. They see within a pit of sand shifted through the course of the battle with the sand kraken. A glimmering blue glow. Is that what I think it is? Yeah, that's it. That's the Void Gate. I knew the darn thing were around here somewhere. Like I say, it's not so easy to get to them, what with the sand kraken always rummaging around here and changing the shape of the land. Alright, Pete, Torinobu, come on. Swampy, you too. Let's get out of here. Now, hold on a minute, boys. Truth be told, I don't think I'm gonna be going with you. What? You want to stay here? Well, I've been here 5 years, boys, and not only have you killed the kraken, but you returned the water alive to Marn, lifted the plague, and got rid of Hyra Jin for us. Well, if Reject were here, I'm sure she'd give you a medal. I'm not sure she would, Pete, but it's a nice thought. Thing is, fellas, with Reject gone, someone's gotta lead Marn, and, well, I figured it might be me, what with you two leaving and all. You really care for those people, don't you, Pete? I do. They've been my friends for the last 5 years. Like I say, I've built a life here, and with the Sand Kraken dead, if I ever want to come back to Brimstone, well, I know just where to find the gate now, don't I? You two boys go on. I'm gonna go back to Marn and turn it into the most profitable scrap mine anybody's ever seen on this planet. Good luck with that, Pete. Come on then, Torinobu, Swampy, let's go.
Pete-san, are there any other Void Gates around here?
There's a few, but why would you want to go through them?
I do not. Are you sure this is the gate that leads to Brimstone County?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, fella. I seem to remember it being in this area, and all the others, they're long since buried.
Very well, Pete-san. Thank you for your help. This is where we part the ways.
And with that, Beaumont, Torinobu, and Swampy step through the Void Gate, ready to finally return home. A bottle of the Water of Life tucked safely away in Torinobu's hakama. They just hope they are not too late to save Sally Mason. What? This isn't Brimstone County. Where the bloody hell are we? Come on, let's go back. Pete must know where there's another gate that leads to Brimstone.